can't stop petting him whenever he's near me. Look at this. I can't stop. I have to continue to pet this cat because he's so cute. I just can't stop myself. Look, watch this. Whoop. He loves it. He loves the attention. All right, Jasper, you gotta get down now. I'm sorry. Come on, let's go. There we go. Okay, I gotta concentrate on the show. All right, well, that was a good start. That was a good positive start to the show. It's always nice to have a special guest on the show, right? Okay. So let's get right into it. All right, let's talk about the schedule for the week. Then what I'd like to do is give you guys some updates, because I have multiple updates on stuff going on. I have some news stories to cover. We got a lot to talk about today. First of all, thank you guys for a really, really supportive week. If you haven't noticed, look at this. This week, we had so many memberships and gifted memberships on the channel. We started off this week in the low 500s. Yeah, it was like low to mid 500s, and here we are about to hit 700 members on the channel. For the first time in months, I haven't had that many members since like the fall, when it was the middle of all the busiest gaming season of the year, and all those new releases were coming out. Obviously, guys, thank you so much for that. That kind of support is great and appreciated, because number one, obviously, that's a huge amount of support that will help this channel in the long term. It will. But number two, people are now going to be able to use those memberships during all the upcoming events, right? We've got a brand new, well, first of all, we got the Street Fighter 6 demo. We got a brand new game with Jedi Survivor, and another one right after that with Redfall. And this will continue on even into Zelda in mid-May. So this is excellent that people will now have that membership. And, you know, it's like I've told you guys also when I was over on Twitch, because people would say, well, I don't understand what's the big benefit of gifted memberships, because isn't that just temporary support? Well, obviously the answer is yes. It's a month, and then after that it expires. But from what I've noticed, every time that a gifted membership or gifted sub over on Twitch happens, there's a small percentile of people who maybe have had it for the first time, and they really enjoy it. They're like, wow, look at this. Well, I got all Phil's, oops, I almost knocked over my seltzer. I got all of Phil's emotes. You know, I got a cool highlighted name. I like the chat crown. I got a benefit where I could talk more in the chat during streams because I wasn't in slow mode. Excuse me. And or any of the many other benefits that you can get for being a member. And a lot of people say, well, I like having that. Now I'm going to continue it. And then they just decide to continue the membership. Now, I'm certainly not saying that this is something that happens all the time. It's not. But a very small percentile of people who renew help the channel long term. And that's why, you know, this channel gets the level of support it does. And I'm very happy about that. Thank you. Even if it means 1% of the people who are gifted a membership decide to renew it, that's still growth. You see? So you got short-term growth and support, but then you have long-term growth that comes as a result of it. So anyone who gifted a membership, thank you. Of course, anyone who actually became a member or renewed a membership on their own, also thank you. That's great. So what I've noticed this week particularly is that obviously memberships and super chats were way up. And it's funny because tips have been a little bit on the slower side. If you haven't noticed, there's only been 1 or 2 streams this week where I wore like a hat, meaning that we hit that level of tips goal. If you remember at the beginning of the week, I introduced a new hat, the red fedora. And so we wore that twice. And then since then, I think I had one more hat, and it was the other night, and it was last minute. And some people go, oh, see, Phil's failing. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? This week was a humongous support week. Why on earth would you say something stupid like that? Because there's people out there who, no matter what, they got to be so negative about everything, and they're doing it on purpose because God forbid that I have a modicum, a little bit of success in any way, shape, or form. They can't stand it. They're, oh my God. They can't believe that there's people who enjoy my content. They can't believe that I'm not just a living meme on the internet for them to make fun of. They're so upset about this. So, too bad. It was a great week, and I'm excited for the final day of the week. You guys know the ways you can support this stream. Now, obviously, this week was amazing for memberships, amazing for super chats, and all of that. And again, that will help this channel long term. If you wanted to support the channel in any way today, obviously the preferred way would be tips if you could, because tips have been on the slower side this week. But it's not the end of the world if we have another slow tips day. I'm okay. You know what I mean? It's funny because these people they say things like, see, and Phil says that he's not going to pay his rent and he's not going to do this and that. First of all, I don't even have rent. I never had rent. I don't know what they're talking about. No, if you haven't noticed, I haven't talked about stuff like that in ages. Things have been pretty good. Admittedly, you know, the last couple of months. You know, I would say ever since I launched DSP Reacts, it's helped a bit. because not only do we have everything still going on here on DSP Gaming, but now we have a whole new React channel that people are supporting, and it's been helping a lot. So it's funny because they still act like things that have happened in the past. Admittedly, in the past, things have been bad financially for me. Things have been incredibly tight to the point where I've had, weeks and months where I'm like, guys, I really need help. If you can help me, please do. If you haven't noticed, that hasn't happened recently, right? In a couple months, if not more. And they act like that's not the case. Like, oh, Phil's still there doing the same thing every day. No, actually. It's not the case, but they will pretend like everything is black and white and absolute, and things never change and things never improve, right? So all I would say is ignore the nonsense. Don't listen to the bullshit. If you can support the stream today, thank you. Any way is appreciated, all right? Because what's the preferred way? Well, yeah, obviously tips would be great because tips have a slower week this week. But any way you want to support, I don't look a gift horse in the mouth, man. This is my life, my livelihood. This is how I make my living. It's not, this is some side thing, or I have a bunch of sponsorship deals, and it doesn't matter how I do on a stream. It very much does matter how I do on my streams. And you guys have been making my streams amazingly supportive in the last few weeks. So why on earth would I be complaining about anything or asking for anything? I'm not. Just whatever, man. It's all good. All right? So if you can support, please do. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Remember, as simple as liking the stream, which is free, helps a lot and adds engagement. Getting those 100 likes is a key component. Adding engagement to my content and sending more people over to this channel to check it out, right? But then everything else is also appreciated, whether it's super chats, memberships, tips, all great. Today, if you're thinking of tipping, remember we have these tips goals in effect, and the sooner we hit them, the better, because you get a longer reward. If you want to see a hat, well, then tip earlier, so that way people can vote and we can have a hat for a lengthier portion of the stream, as opposed to the other day when we hit the hat goal, we had like 10 minutes of me. It was yesterday. Yeah, that's right. It was yesterday. We had like 10 minutes of me wearing the Dumas helmet, and we didn't have a chance to even run the poll because the stream was over, you see? Okay. Let's move on from that stuff and get into some nice positive things with scheduling and talking about what we're doing this week. So today, more Elden Ring, the third straight day of Elden Ring, before we now are going to go on an Elden Ring kind of break this next week. So what are we doing? Well, in Elden Ring, we have had amazing progress in the last couple of days. I've done multiple optional dungeons. Both the Sofria River and Ansel River we cleared. Yesterday, we went north into Mount Gelmir and into the Volcano Manor area, and we did a bunch of stuff in that region and unlocked a bunch of waypoints and even fought some optional bosses and stuff there. I'm thinking today we should probably head eastward and try to clear the plains up to the capital and maybe do stuff all around the capital area. More optional bosses, more upgrade items. My real goal, there's a couple options. All right. Goal number one is I want to find a level 5 Somber Smithing Stone. All right. If I find a level 5 Somber Smithing Stone, I can upgrade my katana. And I already found the level 6, so I could get my katana up to +6 now if I could find this item. I don't know where it is, though. So that's one thing we got to figure out, okay? Number two, I want to get as many runes, souls, grace, whatever it's called, because I don't even remember in this game. I need to get as much of that as possible. Jasper, what is it?